Hello, my friends. I have recently been, I think just this morning at around 3 to 4 a.m., I've got a comment on one of my videos that there was a continuation so fresh. I haven't seen it yet. So be prepared for what if Denki pranked our god, Izuku. Written by Universal Stoat. Read by Cole. Now let us begin for the absolute hilarity of craziness. Izuku blinked as he was not in the spot he remembered he turned around to see people bowing to him and recording. Izuku blushed, grabbed Gran Torino and ran for it. The news station at the time was experiencing technical difficulties because of the rage-induced storm that Izuku didn't remember had knocked down important equipment and knocked out cell service for half an hour. Meaning UA staff and students were already out of classes and didn't see the outcome until it was too late. Denki decided today was the day to go forth with his prank on Midoriya. It was originally planned for the day Midoriya went to his mom's house, but he couldn't pass on the perfect opportunity. Izuku seemed stressed lately and Denki thought he could use a practical joke. Poor Denki didn't know it would almost cost his life today. He was just planning on moving his merch out of the way, replacing it with Endeavor merch. Have Izuku see it, freak out a little, then Denki would swoop in to reveal that presto, the original merch was fine, and they would laugh. Izuku always loved his pranks, smiling and laughing. Despite the sunshine demeanor, Izuku wasn't outgoing like many expected. He hid his interests that weren't being a hero and always kept people at arm's length. Denki got to work hiding the merch in a large closet that no one used and replacing it with Endeavor merch. No one stopped him, as they should have stopped him. And they went out to get food, and Aizawa, the poor sod, was in the teacher's lounge doing who knows what. After he was done, he waited for Izuku to get back to the dorms. When he did, he looked exhausted. Denki saw Izuku open his door and freeze. "Hey dude, you okay?" Denki asked Izuku, starting to think he might have gone overboard. "You think?" Izuku slowly turned his head to him, eyes twitching, and hair beginning to float and emit static. "What happened to my room?" Izuku's voice rang out. It wasn't natural and held anger. "Oh, I pranked you and I can fix," Denki tried to explain to his now glowing friend. 5 minutes. Back to how it was, and I swear if any of my merch got damaged, I will lose your dominant arm. Izuku didn't shout, but it was hard to tell how he felt. The words sounded distant and hollow. At that moment, he knew Midoriya was doing everything not to kill him. So Denki ran, grabbed the Endeavor merch, quickly tossed it on the couch of the common room, and quickly but carefully grabbed the original merch and reputed them to their original shelves. Denki was wheezing and shaking when everything was in its rightful place. "Sorry." Izuku inspected all his merch to inspect any damage. Izuku, who his speed run to return the room to normal had gradually morphed, his skin held now a green tint. Lightning littered his skin. Izuku turned to him, and Denki thought he would die. The eyes were cold and calculating, seemingly seeing how valuable Denki was alive or dead, for even daring to touch one finger on Izuku's collection. Izuku walked out the door, using Black Whip to drag Denki along. Denki thought he was about to be killed. At that moment the class got back, all seemingly pale, when they saw Izuku drag Denki. All were silent, and Bakugo looked ready to pass out. That was the worst sign possible. Denki was then dragged outside, where the weather was going crazy with the winds threatening to sweep Denki away if not in Midoriya's grip. How Midoriya had stead footing, he didn't know. The class watched from the common room window, and it looked like Momo created a shrine for him. He knew he was dead. Denki? Midoriya said as he held dead Denki to his eyesight. Yeah, Midoriya? Midobro? Denki asked shakily. Know what I do won't affect our friendship, but serves as a reminder to not touch my room, Midoriya said ominously. I'm sorry, Midoriya threw Denki straight up into the clouds like he weighed nothing. Denki screamed his lungs out. Everything moved too fast, and the winds did not help. He couldn't tell what was up or down. Everything looked the same. The air was thin, and it was hot and cold at the same time. The wind held moisture, but he was hit a few times by large hail. He felt sick and didn't know what to do. All he saw was Midoriya's anger build up in the clouds. The electricity was green. How did he miss that? These clouds were Midoriya's anger. He repents. He's sorry. He'll never touch Izuku's stuff again. He will be Izuku's servant if it gets him back to the ground. At some point, Denki closed his eyes. Then the wind stopped. The hail, rain mix stopped, and they felt someone holding him. Denki opened his eyes to see Izuku floating a few feet off the ground. He had caught Denki before he became a puddle on the ground. Izuku's skin now held a lighter shade of green instead of the toxic glow Izuku had merely moments before, now held a bright cyan tone. Gently, Izuku set Denki on the ground, showing his hero smile. If Denki did not know Izuku was the reason of his panics moments ago, he would have felt comforted, like the many times before when he saw that smile. Sorry, Denki. I know you mean well with your pranks, but please never touch my room again, Izuku said brightly, like he merely sent Denki to the timeout corner for 5 minutes to think what he did. I'm sorry, I'll never touch your room again, Denki all but wailed. I hope I didn't go overboard, Izuku blushed. Being in the sky was scary my first time, so I'd really hate to have scared you too badly. Oh my god, that was his timeout corner. That was Izuku's timeout corner. He didn't even think it could have been anything different. Were you actually going to rip my dominant arm off? Denki said, holding his arm closer to his chest. Izuku blushed heavily. Oh, no. Maybe just a broken bone? Izuku sheepishly rubbed the back of his neck. Ah, good to know, Denki said weakly. Looking over to the group, he saw them all, slack-jawed and wide-eyed. Then he turned to face to the sky. The clouds began to dissipate. Looking back at Izuku, now totally normal as if nothing had happened. Sorry again if I went overboard. I had a bad day. Izuku again apologized. I was hoping to just sit in my room the rest of the day. Enjoy your Endeavor merch. Weird choice of merch to own, but if you want to change it, I'm willing to help. Just don't take mine. Denki nodded, got off the ground, and shakily went to the group.
How the hell are you alive?
Bakugo almost demanded. I'm going to talk to Mr. Aizawa about the Deku Code and join. I promised myself if I lived, I would serve Izuku, and I'm not breaking it. Denki walked out of the room and headed to the teacher's lounge. This was brilliant. I absolutely love this fix. Every time. They're short, they're an easy bite for in between breaks. And they just lift one's mood up so much. No matter how bad one's day was, having something like this is just brilliant. I really hope Universal Stoat will continue this saga of God Izuku because it's just perfect. The crack is just flavored in nicely with the comedy, but also the god-wrenching abyssal horror that we feel through the people around him. But I think for today that's enough. I know it's a short chapter. Next week will be in another story again. But for now, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. It will help out a lot. Take care of yourselves and taking care of oneself doesn't mean indulging in 7 cups of coffee or 7 cans of energy drink. Darlings, please, if you can't drink water, at least take some unsweetened tea. That way the water doesn't taste yucky and you'll get some interesting additives from the tea that will help. I heard black tea has even more caffeine than some of the coffees, or use dandelion coffee. It's a very good alternative that is sweeter than normal coffee and more regional. Take care.